I'm here at the Phoenix Synth Meet 2016. I'm here with Chris Randall, the co-organizer of this event. Chris, why did you decide to put this on, and what's kind of going on here today?
A big city like this should have a good synth scene, and so Ed Kennedy and myself kind of took it on ourselves to create one, such as it is. You know, and we started a couple years ago. The first one's in my house, and now we're renting out a facility and got a lot of people here, so it's starting to turn out pretty good.
So I've looked around a little bit. I've seen all kinds of DIY synths, regular subtractive synthesizers that are all prepackaged, but I've noticed a lot of modular gear. Specifically, I've noticed a lot of Eurorack gear. Am I misled in that, or has there been an uptick in that the past few years? What are kind of your thoughts on that, and why do you think that is, if so?
Now, 3 years ago, or 4 years ago, we made plugins. Now we have a whole line of modular. It's an easy entry into the world of hardware manufacturing, which up until then was actually, well, just overall the whole idea of manufacturing has gotten easier to where you can have a thought about something and put a Raspberry Pi in it and make 20 of them and sell them. You know, Euro has a zeitgeist right now. You know, people seeing Radiohead or Nine Inch Nails or whatever with their big Euro rigs, and they want to get a piece of that action. And because so many manufacturers kind of glommed onto it in the last couple of years. When we started, we were the 13th Euro manufacturer. There were 12 ahead of us, and now there are 200 something. So it's really moving along now. And also, there's so much variety now that it's kind of developed its own momentum, where when you buy a synth, a big synth, I'm pointing at a synth over there. When you buy a big synth, that's kind of the end of the road. You either learn to love that synth or you eventually sell it. Whereas this, a Eurorack can always be changing to fit your musical mood or whatever. You can, if I decide I don't like these oscillators, I can swap them out with some that have a different flavor or approach things in an entirely different way, whereas a traditional hard set synth doesn't allow that.
Well, there's a lot of people that finally showed up here. We got a full house. I'm going to go around and talk to a few more people. But thanks a lot for having us out today, and it was great talking with you. So I'm here with Ed Kennedy at the Phoenix Synth Meet 2016. And so Ed, so you got a lot of gear here. There's a lot of people here. What brings you out here today?
Well, I've been doing synthesis for a little while now, and part of what I've been doing is trying to collide audio and visual. So to create like a mesh where the audio and the video are kind of co-creating each other. So I brought out some of my audio synthesizers. I'm going to do performance later. I brought out some of my video synths because I find them just super fun to use and show off.
Now then, we chatted a tiny bit earlier. So people who are into synthesizers, you know, that's one kind of subgroup. The modular is even a subset of that. And then even more kind of rare, like we spoke about, is the video synthesis. So it's taken you a lot to kind of research, like where to find stuff, how to do stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a really niche kind of like groups that you find, and you really have to hunt and sort of look for these kind of communities. But they're out there. I mean, there's people who make video synthesizers. It sort of took off in the 70s and was really popular then, and then, you know, as things transitioned to digital, the TVs and everything, and cable came around, it sort of lost touch. But now it's sort of come back into a resurgence because people are finding that, just like with normal synthesizers and modular, you use analog, you get these unpredictable, wild, warm, vivid things that you couldn't get maybe from something that's digital. Or, you know, you combine the two and just get a whole new palette of capabilities with your synthesizers.
Now then, you mentioned you're going to be doing a performance later. So do the two go hand in hand, or did this lead to the performance, or did you get this stuff so you could perform? How did that kind of work?
Yeah, we the group that I'm in is called the Blue Mages, and so it's Benj Brahman and Ken Aim. Ken does the visuals. He's just a brilliant visual artist, and so I've just been kind of encouraging him and giving him tools and then that kind of thing to really let his art just monumentally good, so it shines. And so we've combined, and we'd actually do Twitch. We would stream Twitch shows and stuff where we're doing live improvised electronic music and visuals. I was on Twitch TV. Melt Lords is what we rebranded because we found actually there's a lot of analog video artists in Phoenix. It was kind of a surprise. There's 4 of us, I think, now. Like, whoa, big number, but
right.
It's exciting. So we kind of made a little collective there, and we're going to be doing some more streaming and so on. But that's just a fun way. So yeah, a little bit of it in the performance tonight, and then more of it later on down the road for sure.
All right, well, great. Well, I look forward to the performance, and you got a really awesome setup here, and so thanks for talking to me today, and look forward to seeing you.
All right, great.
So I'm here with Flavio Morales from Blue Lantern Modules. Now, Flavio, what brings you out here to the Phoenix Synth Meet? Why are you here today?
Well, I'm here to promote my products, obviously, and join in on the fun, get to know people, network, also demonstrate, because this is pretty hard. It's modular. I do this full time, so I'm just here to meet new people and have fun.
Gotcha. Now then, I've looked around the floor. We actually have a pretty packed house today. I've seen a lot of different synthesizers, some DIY stuff. There seems to be a lot of modular gear here, and kind of an uptick in that. I've already asked a few other people their opinions about that. What's kind of your opinion on just the seeming resurgence or popularity of not only modular, but specifically the Eurorack format?
Well, it's 5 inches high, so you're able to pack a lot in a small space. Like when I started, it was 5U, and I only had 10 modules, and it was already like a good 4 feet higher,
Right. What got you into the modular synthesis? What was the gateway drug into that?
Well, at one time I used to produce music. I couldn't afford this stuff, so there was a website, Music from Outer Space.
Right.
I bought kits. I got really good. They asked me to build for them.
Oh, okay.
I invested in gear, and I just started Blue Lantern Modules.
Right.
And I've been doing this now for 10 years.
Right. Almost every single module in here is one of yours.
Yes.
And then you did mention earlier that you did have a new module you kind of wanted to talk about. So what is it? What does it do?
It's called the Assist, and it's like a drum maker for dummies. One module patches into something called a VCO, and you can connect a Roland V drum and do that, or you use a trigger and get it to trigger. You can make 909 or 808. So that's going. Normally, something like that takes like 4 modules. It could get expensive, $600, So this is only $200, and it gives you all the tools.
Well, I really want to thank you for talking to me today, and it's great to see you out here. Thanks a lot. All right, I am here with Jason at the Phoenix Synth Meet 2016. And Jason, what brings you out? Why'd you come out today?
Well, I've been into synthesizers for maybe modular synthesizers for maybe the last 2 or 3 years. And I just learned about this group, and they reached out to me on Facebook and said, "You want to join our group?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And hey, it just so happens we have a meetup coming, and so I came down here and I brought my stuff, and I didn't realize there was this many people into this kind of geeky stuff. So
Right. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
it is.
So, what draws you to this? Because it obviously seems like it's going to be more work. It's going to be more time.
Right.
It's going to be possibly more money, depending on
definitely more money, yeah.
So what draws you to this?
What I think, well, when you get when you have a standard synthesizer with a keyboard and everything that's in front of you, that usually has its own internal routing system. You know, here you can route anything to anywhere, and it allows for a lot more creativity as far as the sounds are concerned, a lot more variation as far as the sounds are concerned. But really, the reason why I got into it to begin with is it's taking the basics of sound, the very basics of sound, just like a pure sine wave, you know, basic of sound, and making something out of that, you know, creating a piece of music out of just those pure elements, you know what I mean? And it's more work, yes, but it's more fun. It's more rewarding.
Well, cool. Well, it's an awesome setup, and thanks for coming out today.
Thanks.